Hello, class. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Okay, so today I asked you guys to bring sunglasses in, so I want you all to actually just have them sitting on your desk and not playing with them at this moment. We will get to our demonstration with our sunglasses here in a little bit. So today we are going to be talking about UV radiation, some of its side effects, some of the symptoms or causes you can get from it, and some warning signs that you will see. So radiation is it's actually an electromagnetic light, and it's really hard. You can't even see with your eyes. So, and it comes from the sun. And we're also when you have UV radiation, you can have UVB and UVA rays. And the UVB rays are actually what cause you to turn red or get tan from the sun. And most of the radiation you are exposed to from the sun is actually UVA, and it counts up for about 95% of it. So, and being exposed to UV radiation for a long time can actually cause skin cancer. So, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to have you all grab your sunglasses and we're going to put them on. And I'm going to call on random people and we're just going to go over and see if we can see your eyes or not. So, let's have Tommy in the back stand up back there. So, I want everyone to look at Tommy. Can you see his eyes through his sunglasses?
Yes.
Okay, so then that means his sunglasses are not protecting his eyes from UV radiation. Okay, let's have Brianna. It looks like, can anyone see her eyes? No, yes. So her sunglasses are actually protecting her eyes from UV radiation, which is a really good thing. Okay, so, and also when we go through our sunglasses, if they do block UV radiation, that is what they're supposed to do, and also protects. So that means your eyes aren't going to get cataracts, or you can actually get skin cancer in your eyes from sun exposure to sun. So like I said, you want to make sure that you have sunglasses that keep your eyes nice and dark so that they absorb 95% of the UV rays and at least 65. So that means that most of it they are actually getting rid of, and your eyes are not actually being exposed that much to them. So the next thing I want to kind of go over is some side effects that UV radiation can have on you. And the first thing actually is it can cause you to get skin cancer. I mean, you have to be out in the sun for a very long time, so it happens over years. It takes years for this to happen, but it can happen. And when you are out in the sun, it actually causes your DNA damage to your DNA. And you can get, it all depends on your exposure. I mean, there's various different types of cancers, different kinds of skin cancer you can get. So it all just kind of depends on how long you're out in the sun and what kind of exposure you get. Another side effect of UV radiation is that it can cause damage to your eyes, just like we kind of talked about with the sunglasses. So you want to make sure you have your sunglasses that block the UV radiation from your eyes. And by being out in the sun without sunglasses, you can actually get cataracts. Blindness can happen from this, and also like your eye. You can have deterioration of your eye muscles so that they don't work very long. And I know in the summertime people always make fun of me when I wear sunglasses and I end up with a raccoon face. But then I just tell them, well, at least I'm protecting my eyes from the sun and the radiation from the sun, so that I won't end up going blind or get cataracts. So, and then another side effect is tanning beds. I think people think that going to tanning beds and getting nice and tan before they go out in the sun is good. Well, it's actually not, because there's actually a lot of radiation in tanning beds too. So by doing in tanning beds, you're getting exposed to radiation too. So it's really not. Tanning doesn't protect you from the radiation outside and from the sun either. Sunburns are mostly caused from UVB rays, and that's when your skin gets all red, and sometimes it peels and blisters, and that's when you've been exposed out for long periods of time. And then our last one we talk about is premature aging. And that's where premature aging is caused from UVA rays. So being out in the sun can cause you to have your skin age, and you can get all wrinkly and actually look, and you can be quite young when this happens. Another thing is, if you are outside and you are doing sports, you want to make sure that you are wearing sunglasses, because it will help you protect your eyes. I know people think that even though we're outside and we're doing sports and we're moving, that nothing will happen to their eyes and they're protected. So now I would like you to come up to the board, and I want you to write down some ways that you can reduce your risk to UV radiation. Okay. Yeah, see. Okay. So Brandon actually came up with a good list of ways to help reduce the risk of exposure. And so by wearing sunscreen, so you want to have sunscreen that is about 15 SPF. That protects. And like we were talking about, wearing sunglasses to protect your eyes from getting cataracts or skin cancer. You can also get skin cancer in your eyes. Staying in the shade, so whether you're finding it under an umbrella that blocks the sun or being under a tree, anything staying out of the sun in the shade is good. Also, wearing a hat. I'm going to make sure that a hat is nice and covers everything. Also, wearing hats that have a long, wide brim around them to cover your ears and neck too are good. And wearing protective clothing. These are all good ways to reduce the risk of exposure to the sun. Okay, so the next thing, and also one more thing that we didn't mention is avoid indoor tanning, because that is also causes radiation and can cause skin cancer as well. Okay, so now we're gonna go over some of the warning signs that you see when you are exposed to radiation. As you can see, we have an acronym CAUTION, and each one of those letters gives you a different kind of symptom or warning sign. So changes in bowel or bladder habits. A sore doesn't heal. So if you get sunburn red and you got some sore on your arm or something that doesn't heal, that can be a sign that you have UV radiation. Unusual bleeding or discharge, thickening or lump on a breast or elsewhere, indigestion or difficulty swallowing, obvious change in a wart or mole, and nagging cough or hoarse. My grandma actually had to have a mole removed because they thought that it could have been cancer, because it started out small and it just kind of kept growing and growing. So she had to have that removed, and they actually found out it wasn't cancer, so that was a good thing. Okay, so those are some of the warning signs, and I'm going to have you get in your groups, and I'm going to give you some colored pencils and some paper, and you're going to come up with some kind of advertisement. You want to advertise the use of sunglasses, and you can use some of the warning signs that we talked about, side effects, or anything else mentioned. And I'm also going to hand out a clue sheet for you so that you can use it when you are creating your advertisement. And here is the cancer clue sheet. So That gives you warning signs, some treatment if you had to, but so you can use anything. So we're just kind of come up with an advertisement to promote sunglasses use. Yeah. And I'll give you about 2-3 minutes to do that. So now we're just going to have Brianna's group will have just show off her little advertisement here. It's always cool to wear your shades. So that's pretty good. Okay. Now just a little information that I found that we want to make sure that we encourage our students to purchase sunglasses that are rated by the American National Standards Institute. And they determine if the sunglasses are block UV radiation or not. Another little fact here is, despite the warnings, an estimated 1 million Americans are diagnosed with skin cancer each year. So even after all those warnings we list and all the side effects, people are still out in the sun or using tanning beds and not protecting themselves, and they're being diagnosed with skin cancer. So I have a little assignment for you guys outside of class, and it is you will be creating a crossword puzzle using that clue sheet I gave you. And I'm also going to hand out an example of a crossword puzzle that I came up with. Here's an example. And so when you come back to class next week, you will have that filled out, and I'm going to actually make copies of it, and we're just going to I'm just going to randomly hand them out, and everyone's going to do one. So that's what we'll be doing next week, so we'll see you all next week.